Today, on Be Something Wonderful, stop confusing the appearance of opposites in undesired conditions for reality. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Big video today. It's from a new client, a session that we had last night. And here's how it started. Here's what she said. Tom, I'm confused. I imagine my scene. I assume it's done. I stay in the end, but then end up seeing all these yucky conditions. What's up with that? And she said sometimes it felt like she was going through hell, or that all hell was breaking loose. I really want to hit this because I've talked about this in many different ways. But remember, guys, as you light up your end, as you imagine your wish fulfilled, you're moving. You're moving in consciousness. You're moving in 3D reality. You're moving scripts. You're moving lifelines. You're moving frames of reality to everything that you want. But if you stop and pause at any one moment and start judging it as unwanted, as all hell breaking loose, as yucky, then you start solidifying or calling forth that script. You start following that script, or that one lifeline that you're only crossing. Remember, you're standing at the center of all scripts, all lifelines, all realities. But when you stop and start judging it, you're now identifying with it. That is now becoming your reality. You're now saying, this is my reality. This is my life. I want to hit this because here's what's really going on, what I said to her last night. You are confused because you're confusing the script, the changing path, the changing process, the changing chain of events, the changing bridge of incidents for your desired outcome or wish fulfilled. In other words, you're saying, oh, this is my outcome. I failed. I didn't get there. This is all changing. Remember that part of what are you really? You are all that is. Experiencing what part of all that is that you choose next. You're experiencing change in the changeless reality. And what is change? Change is resistance. But when you resist the change, when you resist the changing scripts, the changing paths, when you start judging them and start reacting to them, then you're resisting the resistance. Remember, resistance is necessary for change. Contrast is necessary for change. All that's part of you being able to see all that you are. Right? How does all that is, the God that you are, that supreme being, know what it's like to be a supreme being unless you know what it's not like to be it, unless you can feel that change in the changeless reality. And that is resistance. But we put resistance on top of resistance. We throw resistance and obstacles on the path of least resistance. Remember, it's not the path of no resistance, it's the path of least resistance. Resistance is part of changing reality. Resistance is part of experiencing reality. It's part of experiencing that change in the changeless reality. So that's what I wanted to start with. And I wanted to remind you that you're always standing in the center of all that is. Because you are all that is. All that is all that you are. And remember, you're at the center of all of these lifelines, these realities, these film rolls, these scripts, these frames of reality. So you could possibly see any one as you're crossing a script, as you're crossing a reality, as you're crossing a path onto everything that you want, your desired reality. You could see a frame of reality that looks contrary or opposite, for sure. And sometimes it really feels like that, but you're moving to everything you want. Remember, you're standing at the center of all that you are, all of reality, one superimposed over another. So it's always possible to see any part of all that you are at any time. The key is to keep imagining, keep assuming, take a stand in your imagined end. Take a stand in how you want to see reality, how you want to perceive reality, and look out from those eyes. Look out from that standpoint, that vantage point of looking out looking at things as you would like them to be, and looking at things as you would have liked them to be in the past. Always calling forth your desired reality. Always standing in the middle of infinity, the middle of God consciousness, imagining, seeing, affirming, and assuming things as you desire them to be. That's the key to all of this. So remember, nothing is final unless you collapse the wave function, as they talk about in physics, and declare and announce non-fulfillment or failure. Do you see it? Unless you announce, well, that this script is not what I wanted, all hell's breaking loose, these events are not what I want, unless you declare that's it, I'm done, then you're declaring non-fulfillment, right? Everything is changing in its potential, right? Even appearance, solid, manifested people, events, and conditions, right? And those temporary thoughts and feelings about them, they're all changing in that one changeless reality, the I am. Remember, change is movement. It's resistance. But that's how reality creation works. You're manifesting or perceiving reality in that changeless reality. So it's organic resistance, but we put on top of that deliberate, forced resistance on top of that resistance. We resist the resistance. We resist the change. We resist the movement of reality. We're resisting ourselves, right? So all that is, or I am, you, is one unified, resistance-free, changeless whole. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's who you really are. But how do you experience that changeless, resistance-free, unified reality? By experiencing change within it. By experiencing resistance. But that's organic to reality creation, right? Within all frames or moments of experiences of reality, you exist. In all frames of reality, all experiences. Remember, that's why Scripture said, in Him, we live and move and we exist, right? How do you move? You move in that changeless reality. That's change in the changeless. That's what's called resistance. But when we put more resistance on resistance, then now we're resisting reality. We're resisting ourselves. We're resisting the change within, right? This movement or resistance is consciousness being more conscious of something, or awareness being more aware of something, being more aware of life. It's life creating more life. That's what that movement is, in the changeless reality. Remember, you're changeless, but to experience that, to know what that's like, to have the experiential knowing, you experience change in the changes. You experience that resistance or that movement in that changeless reality. So that's powerful. The path to everything you want and desire is to resist nothing. That's why we say that. Don't resist the path. Don't resist the script. Don't resist the change. Don't resist the resistance that's part of reality creation, right? That's why it's called the path of least resistance, not the path of no resistance. There's always some resistance with reality creation. That's how change occurs, right? Resistance or change of movement creates the path or the bridge of incidence. It's the resistance or the change that creates the path. And that's why it's called the path of least resistance. Right? There's no path or no bridge without resistance. There's no path or no bridge without change. Right? Resist nothing means to stop resisting the resistance of the life or the change. Hopefully that's clear. Right? Remember, here you are, all that is infinity. Infinite moments of reality exist in potential. There you are at the center in that current frame of reality. You're always at in the current moment. In the current frame, in the vertical, right? And there's your future frame or your desired end. That's what you're lighting up. And this orange frame, as we'll see here, means you're on the path. Those are the changing frames. So as you light up that future, from this current moment, you create a past lifeline and a future lifeline. You create the entire script, the entire lifeline, by just imagining that. You thread it together as you stand at the center. But if you're unhappy, right, as you see changing conditions, see the changing frame here, that orange is the changing conditions. If you see changing conditions, you don't see it. Remember, you can't see it, you can only imagine it. But that is changing into everything you want. But you're judging it here. You're saying, I'm not getting what I want. I'm going through hell. Do you see it? That orange frame is the changing frame. It's the changing path. Right? Then what happens when you resist that? You go to a lifeline or a film roll or a script where you're moving further away from what you want. It feels like it's more in the future. There is no future. There is no past. But it feels further away from you as you continue to experience changing conditions. obstacles that you're throwing on the path of least resistance between you and what you want. You're still headed there. You're still on that script. You're still on a script lighting that up. But you're experiencing more of what you don't want. Remember, you are always in the present moment either resisting or allowing. Either resisting that I amness or allowing it, right? So resistance is I am not. That should be I am not. This is I am. So you're either resisting, saying I am not, or allowing, saying I am. I had those mixed up. Do you see it? So you're either you're either resisting the current changing conditions in orange here, or in saying I am not, or you're allowing it, saying I am that. I'm going to continue to light that up. I know these conditions are changing, right? Remember, this change or this resistance is necessary to move you to everything you want. So you're either resisting it, saying I am not that I am not that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to see this. Or you're just declaring I am, and you're allowing. You're allowing the resistance to be there. You're allowing the change to be there while you light up your desired end. That's powerful today. You are always in the current moment, the I am vertical, lighting up something, your identity and reality, creating, manifesting, and perceiving your experience of reality, past, present, and future. You're creating all frames in that moment. That you're creating that lifeline, that script. You're threading that together with that current moment of whatever you're lighting up. So the question is, what are you lighting up? Are you lighting up I am that, or are you lighting up I am not that? When you're lighting up I am not that, that's when you feel the changing conditions or that resistance as unwanted. And you start resisting it, right? And putting resistance on resistance, which keeps you further away from what you want. It moves you. This is what Vadim Zeland called an induced transition, right? Moving you to lifelines or scripts that you didn't choose and that you don't want, right? The key is to keep lighting up your future frame. Stand in that knowing that as you imagine your desired reality, you're going to move to it. Whatever those changing conditions are, you're moving to it, right? It's all created now through your current assumed identity and reality, all of it. Either you're resisting the resistance or the change with a focus on the unwanted and non-fulfillment, or you're allowing the change with a focus on your desired identity and reality. You hear it. Either you're resisting the resistance, resisting the changing conditions with a focus on unwanted and being unfulfilled, right? Right here. Right? You're resisting this. You're saying I am not, or you're allowing it and you're saying I am. You're allowing those conditions just to be, because you know you're moving to that desired end. You know you're in the end, right? You're focused on your desired end, that desired identity of fulfillment. So you're moving from fulfillment to fulfillment versus non-fulfillment, unhappy, to more non-fulfillment, being unhappy, even as you try to imagine your desired end. Very powerful today. So, resistance, contrast, as Abraham Hicks would call it, or change, propels you forward on the path of least resistance to your desired outcome. Right? It propels you forward. Resistance or change is how reality is experienced in time and space, becoming the path, the script, the lifeline, the parallel reality. And you move and experience all that is or all that you are. That's how you experience it. But when you start resisting that resistance, when you start resisting those scripts, remember the script is written, the lifelines are written, the parallel realities are already written. When you start resisting those, then you move to other scripts, lifelines, parallel realities that mirror those undesired circumstances and even move you to ones that you would judge that are worse. Right? All paths, all scripts, all lifelines, all parallel realities are written. So it's not about resisting a change to a new script or to a new path or to a new reality. You're always changing frames. You're always changing realities by the mix of whatever you're thinking, feeling, assuming, and believing. Right? But to choose your desired identity by assuming and imagining things of how you would like them to be, or how you would have liked them to be, revision, and who you desire to be, moves you through with that resistance to everything you want. Now you're not resisting change. Now you're not resisting the resistance. Do you see that? So you're always, that change or that contrast or that resistance is propelling you forward always on the path of least resistance. It's that change that you experience in the changeless reality. You're always moving. Resistance to change is how reality is experienced in time and space, becoming a path or a script or a lifeline or a parallel reality. Otherwise, it's everything happening all at once. And there's no change in that changeless reality. That's how you experience change. That's how you experience a lifeline or a script or a parallel reality. That's how you move within that beingness of God, right? All paths, all scripts, all lifelines, all parallel realities are written. So it's not about resisting any one of them. They're all written, meaning they all exist in potential, right? So it's about choosing to move to a new script, a new path, a new reality. But how do you choose? You choose by imagining, assuming that you're already that person you want to be. Imagining you're already that person you want to be. Imagining that you already have what you want to have, right? Experiencing that now by assuming and imagining things are how you like them to be moves you to it, moves you through that resistance. So sometimes the conditions feel like a living hell. This is what this client said during our session. And I like this, I think I've used this before, the Winston Churchill quote. I think he said it. If you're going through hell, keep going. Keep going. What happens is we stop and we judge those conditions. We declare it final. We confuse the changing conditions, the changing script, the changing lifeline, the opposites that are appearing, or the appearance of opposites, what feels like opposite of what we want. We confuse it for our outcome. We declare, well, it's done, it must be over, I didn't get what I want, or I failed, or it's not working, right? As opposed to just temporary conditions, just temporary changes, just temporary resistance on the path of least resistance. The bridge of incidence to everything that you want. Focus on your imagined end, that it's done. Keep moving. Stop resisting the resistance, the script, the film roll, the lifeline, or the frames of reality. Allow them to be, right? Resistance, change, in the appearance of opposites, or what you don't want, or what you no longer choose, is evidence and proof that you're moving to your desired reality and version of yourself. Hear this. It's not, we're declaring it as evidence that we didn't get what we want. Evidence that we didn't succeed and move to our desired outcome. It's actually evidence that you are moving to it. Those are opposites, and those changing conditions are proof that you're moving realities to everything you want. Because they no longer resonate with you. They are no longer what you desire. You're moving through them. It's proof and evidence that you're no longer, that identity and that reality is no longer your choice as you move to everything you want. That's powerful today. Don't confuse, the big message today, don't confuse the script, the path, the changing process, and the resistance for the outcome. You're not done. Don't confuse those changing scripts, those changing paths. Rather, it's the required change that's moving you to all you desire. It's the required resistance moving you to all you desire. It's you moving through scripts and paths as all that is, to everything you want. Change in the changeless of all that is, or all that you are, is how you experience your I amness. Change in the changes of all that is, or all that you are, is how you experience your I amness. Remember, resistance, opposites, the swinging pendulum, as we talked about, are all part of the reality creation process in duality, as you experience change in the changeless reality. It's how you experience change in the changeless reality of all that you are. Instead of resisting the resistance, or change of the scripts or the film rolls or the parallel realities or frames, continue to light up your desired and ideal reality or version of yourself by imagining things the way you want them to be. Assume things are already the way you want them to be. Look through those eyes, the eyes of that higher you, that new identity. See things as you would like them to be, even in the midst of those changing conditions. If you're going through hell, keep going, right? Stop confusing right? Changing 3D conditions and opposites, the appearance of opposites for outcomes or for reality. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, and for being part of our membership channel. There's a link below. We just released about, I guess almost 2 weeks ago now, we released a video. We did a live stream on September 24th, 2023. It was Sunday morning. I guess it was only a week ago now. Not even that. Last weekend. And we went for an hour answering your questions. We have another live stream scheduled for October, towards the end of October. It'll be our Halloween live stream. This is exclusively broadcast on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. So send your questions to info@besomethingwonderful.com. If you haven't checked out the membership channel, there's a link below. Check it out. This is where we offer more content. It always also gives you a chance to contribute to the channel by being a member. Creators, with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, this is Tom in the studios of Be Something Wonderful in Las Vegas. We'll see you soon.